Hello friends, welcome back to Moon Magic Spirit. My name is Meg and today we have a collective reading for you. This is a new pick a card reading on the topic of the full moon in Libra and what Spirit thinks that you should know and what Spirit wants to bring your conscious awareness to. If you are new to pick a card readings, this is a quick rundown. What's going to happen is that we have 3 different piles of cards. You're going to see what you're drawn to. We're going to put it up on the screen, have a pause. You can connect with your intuition and see which pile you're the most drawn to. You may be drawn to like piles 1 and 3. Then that means that there's messages in both piles for you to hear that Spirit wants you to hear. So it's normal to be drawn to more than one pile. So don't worry about that. Once you figure out which piles that you want to hear messages for, you can scroll to the comment section and look for my pinned comment or look in the description box to find the timestamp linked to your specific pile. Click on the time and it will hop you over to your message. And I do want to take the time to remind you that this is a message for the collective. I'm pulling for the collective group 1, collective group 2, collective group 3. This is not a super specific personalized message for you as an individual. So there may be some messages that you don't necessarily resonate with, but there are some that you are going to resonate with, and that's just simple of what Spirit wants you to really focus on and to know. If you would like a very specific personal reading, please check out the link in my description box where you will find my website, MoonMagickSpirit.com. You can come and book a personalized tarot reading with me. I would love to read for you. And if you like these kind of videos and you like the messages you hear, I do have a link in the description box for a tip jar, or if you would like to buy me a coffee for my energy in this video. But thank you so much for lending your energy and your time to my channel. Feel free to check out the other content. If you're new here, subscribe, give this a like. I love doing these kind of readings for you guys. It's something I always enjoy. And please let me know in the comments your thoughts on the reading. I would love to connect with you. So let's go ahead and get into the vibe of a full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is in the forecast. By the way, this is the Moonology Oracle card deck, so I'm just going to read from the guidebook what it has to say about the full moon in Libra. The full moon in Libra, sign of partnership, of falling in love, and closely relating to someone else. Since full moons are about climaxes and conclusions, this card suggests you're either about to start a new relationship or an existing relationship is changing somehow, perhaps coming to an end or moving to the next level of commitment. It's important to remember that people come to us for a reason and sometimes just for a season. If a relationship is ending right now, it is doing so at the right time, so don't try to fight it. This card can also refer to a professional relationship and career as well. There is a sense that you need to balance your ego with someone else's needs. A win-win outcome is possible with give and take. Doing so might answer your question. Attune to the moon with let go of which is falling away. And additional meanings for this card can be see the other person through the eyes of love. It will change your perspective. It's time to make a firm decision. Time for you to focus on yourself for once. Look after yourself, but avoid vanity with it. And it's a great time for a makeover. No matter when you pull the full moon in Libra card, it encourages you to find balance between your desires and those of the people around you. Balance is a very Librian energy, and the full moon brings things to a peak. Dramas and upsets bring partnerships to the forefront. Libra energy brings love energy. Negotiations are easier. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and right now I'm going to put the 3 piles up on the screen, and I put crystals on them because I feel like that helps people lean into the vibes of what they want. So feel free to pause the screen for as long as you need to connect with which pile, and I'll see you for your reading. Hello group 1, welcome to your full moon in Libra reading. I'm so excited to get into this for you today. So let's go ahead and get started with your pile. We do have some different oracle decks that we're going to be going through today, so let's see what the cards have in store for you. Just as a reminder, the questions that we're working on today is a card to represent the full moon in Libra, something to release this full moon, how this full moon is going to impact you, where to focus to find deeper meaning during this full moon period, and lastly, where you can find the beauty in this full moon. So first up, a card to represent the full moon. Here we have the Emperor. Okay, this is Aries season. This is making sense to me. Aries season is the start of the astrological new year, start of the spring equinox. We're kind of doing like a refresh on all of our goals and everything that we want to focus on. So I think that this is a really good card for the full moon. And what this is going to represent is staying on track and staying focused with your goals. And the full moon is about like releasing things, like what isn't serving you, like what's getting in the way of your goals. So this is kind of the reminder for this, that you really need to take the time to focus on that this full moon. So this is just still carrying the energy of Aries season, even though we're at the very tail end of Aries season. Taurus season is about to start in a few days. So this card is signaling that it's time to wrap things up. We're moving on to a new sign, a new season, a new vibe. So it's time for you to take your goals and just take a look back at Aries season and reflect, like, what did you like about Aries season? What didn't you like? What goals did you have? What have you accomplished? Or did you not really focus or accomplish any of your goals? So this is kind of a time for like a mini reset as well, to just think about what you want to do to move forward, how you want to move forward with the goals and intentions that you set at the start of Aries season. If you didn't get through as much as you thought, that's totally fine, because I didn't get through as much as I thought. But I think like this is just a really good time to reflect. I feel like Aries season is a setup, and Taurus season, even though it's a chill vibe, I feel like you're still going to carry on this Aries energy into Taurus season of starting to piece things together and add pieces to the puzzle. So work on goals. This is like a last call, like when you're at the bar and they're like, this is the last call, last drink, what is it? So that's what the Emperor is calling on us. It's our last call of what are we doing to make things work with our goals and our achievements, or what is it that you want to get started on, kind of focusing on that area. The Emperor is also a card of discipline. It is an Aries card as well, in case you didn't know. But the Emperor is also the card of discipline. So what this is that it's taking the energy from the previous card in the major arcana, which is the Empress. The Empress and Emperor go together. The Empress is all of that creative energy. So it's about taking that creative energy, and the Emperor takes that energy and turns it into action, and he puts it together. He is like the daddy CEO card, is what I like to call him. Very disciplined. So it's about like, okay, we're coming up at the end of Aries season. It's really time to focus. What do you need to do as a final push? Or like, you might not have worked on a lot of things this season. Let's get it together. Like, let's redefine our goals before we exit this Aries energy. So that is what the Emperor is calling on us to do for this full moon, a card to represent the energy of the full moon. So up next, for something to release this full moon, we have pulled the Seven of Swords. It is time to let go of your pettiness. I realize I'm making the table shake just now, so I apologize with that. So what you need to let go of during this full moon is your pettiness. I always see the Seven of Swords as a petty card. Like, some people see it as picking up the pieces, but I'm kind of like, he's carrying as much as he can, trying to get more. He's carrying too much. He's just collecting as many swords as he can to be petty. That's how I see it. So right now you might be taking on too much, and you need to let go of the need to be right. There's like something going on with the situation, or there might be like some tension with somebody, and it's lasting because you feel like you need to be right about things, or you're being petty about it, and you need to let it go because you're carrying too much on your plate and it's distracting you from your goals here. So you need to prioritize and refocus on the tasks at hand without overburdening yourself by carrying more than what you can handle. You need to also stop running away from your priorities, your commitment, your responsibility, your hard work. Like, he just kind of, I feel like he's willy-nilly picking things up. He's like not carefully doing it in any sort of organized manner. So this is tying into the energy of the Emperor card of wanting you to refocus on what it is that you want to accomplish. And you might be getting in your own way, right? Because I personally tend to do this all the time. I'm my own worst enemy. I gatekeep myself, so to say. So you really just need to let go of running away from what is going to bring you happiness, what is going to get you to achieve your goals. You're kind of procrastinating that, or thinking that you don't fully deserve to have the happiness, or you don't fully deserve to attain your goals. So kind of release that negative belief system that you have. Stop focusing so much on others around you and start focusing on yourself, because that's where the pettiness is coming from, because you're paying too much attention to what other people are doing and what they're accomplishing, and you're not focusing on yourself and what you should be doing. Or it's just easier for you to focus your energy and attention on other people and to be petty than to actually do the hard work and do it yourself. So that is what you need to work on releasing for this full moon. So up next for how the full moon will impact you, we have the reverse Eight of Swords. This is very Libra vibes with swords and swords. So, how is the full moon in Libra going to impact you? This is a card of release because it's reversed. So as you can see, the person they're not really struggling. They're kind of there on their free will, right? Like they're stacked up there with their swords. It's like their little barrier, their protection. They willingly have cut themselves off from the world. So how this full moon is going to impact you, because the Eight of Swords follows the Seven of Swords. So there's a story here. So right here, you need to work on letting go of like the pettiness and like avoiding the tasks that you need to do to get to your goals, to attain your goals, to achieve your goals. And it may be because you have limiting self-beliefs. So the Eight of Swords is kind of confirming this right now for us. So like you need to release your self-limiting beliefs, your inner critic. You need to let go of your self-defeating patterns here, because once you're able to start releasing those things, the Eight of Swords reverse is actually going to provide you freedom. And I think that that's how this full moon is going to impact you. If you're able to release all of this from the Seven of Swords, you're going to have a lot of freedom in your life. Things are going to open up for you. They're going to come easier to you. What this full moon is really going to do for you, because it's a full moon, it illuminates, it is going to illuminate and shine the light on what needs to change in your life. So pay attention to what the moon is showing you, and you will know the steps and changes that you need to take, because you deserve to have self-acceptance. You deserve to have release of your self-defeating negative patterns. So up next, where to focus to find deeper meaning. Here we have the Four of Pentacles. So this card is about investing in yourself, because it's gonna, all the focus is gonna come back to the Emperor, not just because it's the first card that we pulled with like a card to represent the full moon in Libra, but because it's a major arcana. So this is going to be something that's going to take time to play out, while these other cards that are the minor arcana are things that you can focus on in the next couple of weeks while we still have the energy of the full moon. And it's just giving you a guide on what to work on. So when it comes to what to focus to find deeper meaning, you need to invest in yourself and establish a strong foundation. That's what I see when I look at the Four of Pentacles. It looks like he is very solid in a position. Another thing that this card can represent is holding on to things too tightly, and you're avoiding the bigger picture. So here he is like very like tightly holding on to his money, holding on to his finances. So that might be a limiting belief that's getting in the way of you attaining your goals, is that you're so focused on the money aspect of things that you need to kind of loosen that and let it go and trust that money is going to come to you, and not let that hinder you or get in the way of the things that you want to achieve and the things that you want to work on. Because if you're too focused on the grind, or you're too focused on just making money, and that's what your main goal is, you're gonna lose sight of what you love and what makes you happy. So right here, you do need to make a little bit of change. You do need to invest in yourself because you are holding on to that money very tightly, and that means investing in yourself may mean that your money situation might look different. You might need to make some changes. You may need to look at switching a job or cutting back hours or investing in yourself financially, taking your own money to invest in the things that you need to achieve your goal. And that can be a really scary thing. So you're kind of holding tightly on to this right now, and it's time to invest in yourself and let a little bit of those limiting beliefs go. You're going to need to establish a strong foundation. It's already there. You just need to follow your heart, because this is not all about money. Yes, money is very important. We literally need it to survive in this world, but there's so much more to life than just making money. It's about doing the things that we love and following our heart with that. You need to bring some creativity and balance to this, because it's going to bring you so much happiness. So where to go to find deeper meaning is to kind of let go of your fear again with money. And where you can go to find deeper meaning is by listening to your heart and finding that creativity and finding that balance in your life, because it's what is truly going to make you happy. Last but not least, where to find beauty this full moon in Libra, and we have the Two of Swords. This is such a Libra spread, right? Because we have swords, swords, and swords. And in case you don't know, swords represent air signs, and the Two of Swords cannot be more of a Libra card in my humble opinion, and I do not say that with shade, because I am a Libra rising, so I'm very indecisive. And that's exactly what the Two of Swords is. It represents indecision. So where to find beauty, right? And we pull the indecision card. How can we find beauty in indecision? Well, I'm going to let you know. You are feeling conflicted. We've already established this with the other cards in the spread, and you feel like you might be stuck between a rock and a hard place with wanting to let go of things to get to your goals and to get to your achievements. But what you're really going to do, without kind of rehashing everything from all the other cards, where you're going to find the beauty in this full moon and in this process of releasing and working on your goals and attaining your goals, where you're going to find the beauty in that is in mindfulness, is in peace, is in looking to your intuition, making the decision. You're going to find beauty in letting go, and you're specifically going to find beauty in the need to let go of control. Two of Swords can be very controlling. Libras are about balancing the scale and, like, you know, you go back and forth a lot weighing your options, but Libras are also, they can be very controlling at times. So there is a little bit of that energy with the full moon, but there is beauty in letting that go. So this is calling for you to look within. It's calling for you to focus on your intuition. It's calling for you to just practice stillness and to practice some mindfulness. I think that if you start practicing some mindfulness and some gratitude, it's going to help get you to letting go of the Seven of Swords, so you can release yourself from that and you can start to focus on the energy of the Emperor. So I think that that is a really beautiful spread for the full moon in Libra. We do have some oracle cards to go with this pool. So here we have a card from Where Alice Went, a Wonderland Oracle by Sarah Stassi. One of my friends absolutely love this deck, and we pulled the card Learn. There's a lesson here, right? The Oracle cards always have a beautiful ending to all of the tarot cards. So there is a lesson here. You know what it is, and you know what you need to learn from it. It's going to involve the good, the bad, the ugly. You need to learn all aspects of this lesson to get to your goal. And once you learn this, you're going to be able to put this in your back pocket. So when you struggle with this again, it's going to be an easier struggle. It's not going to be as much of a challenge. And now I'm going to pull from the Visions in the Liminal Space deck by Bakara Whitner. and Kaylee Christensen, and we have Reason to Live juice. I love this card so much. It says Reason to Live juice, 555 milligrams, take as needed. So this ties into the Two of Swords actually, with the mindfulness, the gratitude, the reflection of things. It's just like the little things in life, like Reason to Live juice. Like right now I'm sitting outside on my deck. It's beautiful. I'm looking at the water. I see the trees. I'm seeing ducks, fish, turtles. Like this moment right here while I'm filming this video is Reason to Live juice. My surrounding, being outside, being able to film this outside and being able to enjoy myself, connect with nature and ground with it, Reason to Live juice. Being able to practice tarot and being able to film it and upload it and share this with you and share these collective messages is Reason to Live juice. The coffee that I have with me, Reason to Live juice. So it's just anything as big or little as it is, like being in a healthy relationship, Reason to Live juice. Seeing a pretty flower while you're driving somewhere or walking by, Reason to Live juice. So just focusing on those little things will be super helpful. And lastly, from the Moonology Oracle card deck, we have the new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. What a beautiful tie-in to this reading. Let's see what messages the guidebook has for us here. Whatever is coming your way, it looks to set to put a smile on your face. The new moon in Sagittarius can mark the reset of fun after a period of feeling low. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take some risks. But be careful you don't bet the farm on something here, as the wheel of fortune is still spinning. This card is about exploring life by exchanging big ideas with others or just thinking about your own philosophies. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important. It can also signal that a trip is coming up, if that's something that you're wanting to achieve. But overall, the message of this card is whatever happens next will be some sort of gift, even if it means widening your world view. Count your blessings, literally. Write them down and say them out loud. I mean, hello. This is all tying in so great. Additional meanings for the card: you need to laugh more. This is a wonderful time to start a study or teaching. Don't be narrow-minded. Start a week of gratitude practice. You guys, tank. There are no coincidences. Like, every time I do a tarot reading, I'm just like always mind blown and fascinated by it and how everything is so perfectly harmonized and tied together. That wraps it up, group one, for the full moon in Libra. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this reading. There is a link for if you want to leave me a tip or buy me a coffee down below, along with my website if you would like to book a one-on-one personal reading with me. I love doing these videos so much, so be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments and give me a thumbs up. I would love to interact with you more. As always, thank you for your time and energy in this video. Best of luck, group one. I will see you later. Welcome, group two, to your collective reading on the full moon in Libra. The questions we're going to be asking is a card to represent the full moon in Libra, something that you need to release this full moon, how the full moon is going to impact you, where you can focus to find deeper meaning during the full moon, and where you can find beauty this full moon in Libra. I am so excited. We are at the very tail end of Aries season, about to enter Taurus season. So let's see what the cards have in store. So for our first card, a card to represent the full moon, we have the Queen herself, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Aries season. Wands does represent fire signs, so it's fitting that we are still in Aries season. So you might be a little bit of a witch, if I do say so myself. The Queen does have her little black kitty with her. So a card to represent the full moon. I think like this is a conclusion of Aries season, especially since it represents a fire card. So let's kind of see like what you've been up to and some things that may be getting in your way, and maybe some last minute things you need to accomplish during the full moon energy. So some of you may not be aware, but we are no longer in Pisces season, my friends. I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on Instagram. People are still in the dreaminess of Pisces season, which I get. It's a nice place to be. I'm a Pisces Mercury in my 5th house. I get it, I love it. But it's time to wake up here and stop dreaming, and it's time to start taking action. Maybe you were a little stagnant this Aries season, you know, like gently getting back into things. I can totally relate to that. But now is kind of like the last minute chance to get your goals going before we enter the more chillax state of Taurus season. Aries season is like very intense, like let's get ourselves set up so then when we go into Taurus season, we already have all the steps figured out. Now we just have to implement them. So, the Queen of Wands. I say you may be a little witchy or you may be full witchy. And I say that because the Queen of Wands has such powerful manifestations. Like you could have the potential for powerful manifestations if you're not there yet, or if you're here, you already know what I'm talking about with that. The Queen of Wands is extremely, extremely intuitive, and she is ambitious, determined, fiery. She is a huge achiever. She likes challenges. So when it comes to the Queen of Wands, like all of the right things are there, right? But there may be like a little bit of a snag, a little bit of a hitch. So let's get to the bottom of that. The Queen of Wands, like this is a great energy and a great chance to embrace different qualities to improve your life. So for example, you may have procrastinated this Aries season. So now it's time for you to really harness the energy of the Queen of Wands and get those goals set so you're entering Taurus season fully prepared. It's also a reminder to be upbeat, to have that drive, to have that passion, to have that creativity, to have that determination, because you are what? You are the Queen of Wands, which means that you are a baddie. You can do this. You got this. You have everything that you need. You just gotta bring it to the surface, right? You may still be in the murky waters of Pisces season, so it's time to come up to the surface for some air and to revitalize yourself, because you are going to get shit done. And it's not only going to benefit you, but you are going to be a little inspiration to everyone around you, like the baddie that you are. So a card to represent the full moon is the Queen of Wands energy. Harness that energy whenever you're feeling low, whenever you're feeling tired, whenever you're doubting yourself. Remember, this is who you have the potential to be. You are this person. You can get there. You can do it. You just need some determination and a little bit of a push to get there. And if you already are harnessing your Queen of Wands energy, keep that energy up during the full moon. Up next, what is something that you need to release? All right, we have the reverse justice here for what you need to release and what you need to, there's two different situations that could be going on here. Since this is a reading for the collective, I'm going to give you two scenarios. Whichever one relates to you, that is the message that you need to hear. But we do have the justice reversed here. So it's time for you to release dishonesty, your lack of accountability, and your unfairness, because the Queen of Wands, she is a baddie. She can be a little bit bossy, all right? So if you are blaming other people, or if you have a lot of strife with other people, it's time to let go of the need to be right. Is it worth your peace? Is it worth your energy? Is it worth your time? Is it helping you get to your highest good, or is it for your highest good? Is it your highest self that's speaking during this? Trust me, I get it. Queen of Wands, fire sign, very, very prideful. It is hard to let that pride go, but it is getting in the way and hindering you of achieving your goals, getting in the way of you achieving your goals and where you need to be. So be a boss, but don't be bossy. Don't let others take the fall for you as well. So another thing that you need to focus on here is that there also might be a decision that you need to make, and it's not sitting right with you. And if you have a decision that you need to make and it just something isn't feeling right in your gut, it could be because your bias is getting in the way. Like, is your ego getting in the way of the decision? Is your personal opinion getting in the way of this decision? Is your bias getting in the way of this decision? Are you acting holier than thou to others? Are you allowing your personal judgments to get in the way? Are you letting this ego-inflated energy get in the way of making the best decisions for your highest good? And is that affecting your relationship with those around you? Because that is something that you are going to need to let go of, my friend. You are going to need to take things from a different perspective. We said for the outer world, for the macro level, it's about letting go of the need of being right, being stubborn, not wanting to forgive people. But on the micro level, it's about you not wanting to forgive yourself. You might have done something that you are feeling an immense amount of guilt about. You may feel like you're not good enough. You aren't exactly harnessing the Queen of Wands energy. So it's time for you to reflect on that, and you need to let it go. You need to be able to forgive yourself, to move on, to get to your ultimate goal of happiness. You can't keep holding yourself back and blaming yourself for this anymore. It's time for you to be able to let go of it and make peace with this. You need to start showing yourself some compassion and kindness, because we all make mistakes. And at the end of the day, oftentimes it's us that's holding ourselves back. We need to be able to forgive ourselves to move on a lot of the times. So reflect on that and meditate on this during the full moon. And something else that we can do is thank our inner critic for the judgment. And once you thank your inner critic for bringing these issues up, and you're aware of them, and you're figuring out how to work through them, you're going to be able to clear it away, and you're going to be able to move on and transition on to the next thing. If you've been feeling stuck, reflect on this reverse of justice and figure out what it is that you need to do. So up next, for how is the full moon going to impact you? We have the reverse Three of Wands. Wand energy. This reading is letting us know that we're still definitely in Aries season. This is typically like a patience card when it's upright. So you have planted a seed for something, right? Like your Queen of Wands, like you've done something, you've taken a step. Maybe you're getting in your own way to like advance on this step, but you've planted a seed, you're waiting for it to grow, and you're not being patient with it. You want it done now. You want it done quickly. Maybe you are being judgy and like blaming others for why isn't this getting done fast enough? Like I did this, this, and this. Why aren't you doing this? You're in my way. Like relax on that a little bit. So this could also represent a hindrance on how the full moon is going to impact you. It may put like a full stop on what you're doing, on what that seed that you planted is. And that just may be calling for you to take time to reflect, to make sure that this isn't, that whatever goal you're working on is for your highest good, it's in your best interest, it's truly what you want, and that you're doing it for the right reasons. Now, another thing that this card could represent is that the thing that's holding you back is you. It's yourself. You're holding yourself back, right? Your inner critic is like, we're not good enough, or like, I did this, I don't deserve to have this happiness because of X, Y, and Z, whatever judgment you're making on yourself, and you're getting in the way of your seed planting and growing and sprouting. You may have the best intentions with the Queen of Wands, but you're getting in your own way on letting this be a reality because you don't think you deserve it. You don't think you deserve the happiness. You don't think you deserve the success. Whatever it is, you're getting in your own way here. What's holding you back? Is it yourself? Is it outside forces, things you can't control? Make a list and write down what you think is holding you back and reflect on that. For the full moon is a great time to release the things that are holding you back. And what you can also do is make your goals a lot more manageable. If you're overwhelming yourself, take a big goal and then break it down into different steps and areas of like, okay, well, how can I get there? What do I need to do? What are all the little steps that I need to take? And once you break it down to a small level and you have all the small steps that you need to take, you're going to be able to start putting things into movement. You're going to be able to put this into movement. And if you're feeling burnt out, you just need to take this full moon. It's going to illuminate illuminate the fact that you're burnt out and that you're questioning things and that you just need to pause and reevaluate and do a reset. So if what your goals are taking longer than expected or not turning out the way you expected, just try to have some patience and reflect on it during the full moon. The next question is where to focus deeper meaning. And we have the Five of Swords, which is an ego card. Even though Wands kind of represents ego as well, the Five of Swords is very much an ego card. So there's some conflict around you. It may be internal conflict with yourself or external conflict with those around you. But taking all the cheap shots that you can get isn't going to help you, right? Like negative self-talk. It's not going to help you. It's not productive. It's only hurting you more. Taking cheap shots at the people around you and making them feel worse about themselves isn't going to help the situation. It's not productive. It's not going to change anything in a positive way that you want it to go. So you need to use your intellect here because swords represents air energy and it also represents intellect. So this is where the full moon in Libra is showing up in the reading. Use your intellect with the situation. Kind of take a step back, pause, look at the bigger picture, and don't let your ego make the rules. You need to back down, you need to step away, and you need to focus on what you can control, especially if this is an issue with people that are around you and they're just really irritating you and bothering you or whatever it is. You need to stop and say, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? Is this worth me putting effort into it? Or would that time, energy, and effort be better suited for something else that's more positive? So I'm going to read something that I recently posted on my Instagram, on my IG stories. Things you can control. So let's go over this for those of us, because trust me, I get it. I'm an Aries. I'm a hothead. Somebody says something, they question me, they question my morals or my character. I get really upset about it. I get really irritated and I hyper focus on it. And I have a hard time letting things go. So I'm saying this as a reminder for myself and for those of you out there, things that you can control. How you express your thoughts, how you nourish your soul, who you associate yourself with, your reaction to triggers, whether or not to judge someone or something, how often you think about the past, how or where you invest your money, where you focus your attention, and the amount of effort that you put forth. Those are the things that are in your control. Focus on what you can control here, because staying in this energy isn't helping anyone. And this is by no means saying that it's easy or accessible to everyone, but it's an invitation to discover the potential energy. When you feel like things are out of control, focus on what you can do. Even when things are in control, focus on what you can actually do here and now, but also don't burn yourself out, because this is going to allow for greater freedom and space within, and it's going to be a really powerful way for you to protect your energy. So where to focus deeper meaning during this full moon, focus on protecting your energy and what you can control, and kind of reframing your thinking if that's an area that you are having a hard time with. And that post on Instagram is by Anamundi Herbals. I'm sure I said that wrong and I apologize. I'll link their account down below. And lastly, before we jump into our oracle cards, where can you find the beauty this full moon? We have the Three of Swords, the dreaded Three of Swords, right? So let's get into it and how you can find the beauty. I think that is such a tank to pull the Three of Swords because everyone dreads it, and this is how we can find the beauty in it. So let's roll into it. So the Three of Swords is not an easy card to process because it's not easy feelings to process. It's not an easy situation to process. So we really need to recognize that this card does represent incredible mental strife, heartbreak, and loss. There's no taking away from what this card represents. So it's a little bit of a heavier topic to be like, oh, let's find the beauty in this. How do you find the beauty in pain? It's very hard, and again, it's not something that's easily accessible to other people, but hopefully the advice of this card can help you get there if this is something that you've been experiencing or something that you've been having a hard time with. And if you are, I'm so sorry for what you're going through. I recognize how hard it is. So in this position of finding the beauty in the Three of Swords, we're being asked to pause. Just put a pause on life, essentially, and focus on healing yourself, because you may be focusing a lot on this Five of Swords energy. They tie together, definitely. And it's about reflecting on what we talked about, on what you can control. So this also ties in with healing yourself. This is a chance for you to give back to yourself with self-care, which is a tank moment, because Swords represents air. Air is Libra. The full moon is in Libra. We're about to approach Taurus season, and Taurus season is all about the things that feel good and cozy and homey and like comforting. So embrace the energy of that with the full moon and knowing that we're about to hit Taurus season. And it's just really giving back to yourself with self-care right now. Focus on yourself, healing yourself. Jumpstart those Taurus vibes, because upset can bring tremendous change and joy. Even though it's really hard to see that right now, it may feel impossible, the idea of feeling happiness and joy again. But however, to get there, to get to the change and joy, you must separate from the cause of the pain. Separate from it. Shut it off. Go away from it. Take a pause from it. Focus on your self-care, and you'll start to see the change and joy. You really need to dig into love and courage, and that is how you're going to find the beauty in this full moon. Pamper the shit out of yourself, because at the end of the day, you are a baddie. Remember that. Now it's time to focus on the oracle cards and see what follow-up messages we have. This is a card from Where Alice Went, a Wonderland Oracle Wonderland Oracle deck by my friend Sarah Stassi. I love this deck so much, and we pulled the card Look. And this says that you're being advised to double check the details. Give the final draft a once-over. Make sure that you've covered all your bases. Taking a second look may reveal something that you missed, even if you've had something in order the first time around. So that ties into what our goals and what we're working on, especially with the reverse Three of Wands of what's getting in our way. So now I'm going to pull from Visions in the Liminal Space by Bakara Whitner and Kaylee Christensen. And here we have this peculiar card, I can't say that word, you know what I mean, card, Rewritten History. And it's rather interesting. And what I like about this deck is that a lot of the cards in this deck are meant for you to really like think and sit with it and ponder and like reflect and even journal on it. So I think that that's what this card is calling for you to do. Rewritten history is about understanding yourself. We understand ourselves through the story. And the question that this card ponders is, under what conditions would an intellectual person rewrite their history? And should we be rewriting our history? Is it important to rewrite history? Or is it important to reflect on history, reflect on our past, and accept history of what it is and this pain and heartache that we're going through, and acknowledging it and accepting that it's a part of who we are and how we can move forward. So that is definitely one for you to ponder and think of. And I also pulled a specific Moonology Oracle card. We read the collective one for the full moon in Libra, but for your pile group 2, we pulled the full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. I'm going to read exactly from the guidebook on this one. Have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Is there a question you're being asked on your ego, or is it coming from your heart? Leo energy is all about the heart. Its energy is magnificent, but when it's combined with the rush of the full moon, it can become over the top. This card may have come to you because you need to end a deadlock that has developed. More love and thoughts for the greater good are the solution to this dilemma. If you've not been doing as would be done by lately, this is time to find the balance between your needs and the needs of the people around you. This is going to help your relationships. Attune to the moon, be magnificent without being playing too much. Other meanings for the card include self-esteem is good, vanity is not, reflected in the Queen of Wands. Everyone is equally important, from the reverse justice. Creative urges should be followed. Work some magic, reverse Three of Wands. A friendship may be ending right now, and that comes from the Two Swords cards. When the full moon comes into Leo, it can be a wonderfully bright time where people feel more confident to show the world their talents and assets. It's the upside of this lunation and the card, no matter when you pull it. However, take note that Leo full moon combination creates a sort of tension between your needs and the needs of the people in your networks. Leo full moon is a time to release your pride. So I hope you guys enjoyed your reading with this. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below in the comment box. I would love to connect with you. If you like these kind of readings, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you really like the energy that I put into this video, I do have a tip jar and a link to where you can buy me a coffee, or if you would like a very tailored, personalized reading one-on-one, be sure to check out my website, MoonMagickSpirit, in the description box down below and book a reading with me. As always, thank you so much for your time and energy in this video. Blessed full moon, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Welcome group 3 to your collective reading for the new moon in Libra, and I am so excited to get through this reading with you. This is typical full moon energy. It is very emotional. I know what the cards are that I drew here. And it seems like there's overall a little bit of an imbalance going on, so let's see if we can figure that out. Again, just to go over the questions really quick, a card to represent the full moon, something to release this full moon, how full moon will impact you, where to focus to find deeper meaning during the full moon period, and lastly, where you can find beauty in this full moon. So for our first card here, we have the King of Cups to represent our full moon in Libra energy. So I love this. It's really, really interesting to me because in my other readings, in group 1, the first card was the Emperor. In group 2, I pulled the Queen of Wands as the first card. And now for you, group 3, we have the King of Cups. So it is a person in power starting off every reading for this overall collective reading. And I really think that that's beautiful, and I really love that. So the King of Wands and the energy that you want to harness for this full moon, it's appropriate, right? Because King of Wands is emotions and full moon is like about a big emotional release most of the time. So here we need to, I think the overall message is to embrace creative discipline. Or it could also be emotional discipline. And that's because the king is top tier, right? Like, he has mastered all of the lessons. He is at the top of the board. He is like in the highest ranked position. So he needs to be a very disciplined person. He's a very wise person. So that is where that discipline is coming from, kind of mastering the cups energy. And again, I am filming outside and it's starting to get a little breezy, so I hope it's not too annoying, and hopefully there's not too many unpleasant sounds, but there's a lot of birds chirping, so I thought it might be nice. Okay, so King of Wands. Hopefully you can relate to this because you're a very creative, artsy driven person. You're a very heartfelt driven person. You can be very spiritual, creative. You're your happiest when you're creative. You enjoy being present with other people. You really like expressing yourself in different creative and artistic ways, different artistic venues. And I know that that sounds very niche and very specific. So if you're somebody that's like, well, I don't feel creative, or that's not something I ever really explored, this might be time for you to explore some creative outlets. And it doesn't always have to mean, like, art doesn't mean drawing or painting. Art can be literally just about anything. Anything that you're putting creative energy into and that you're putting your heart into is art, my friends. So you're somebody who's very heartfelt and you're happiest creating. And a card to represent this full moon is that you're really being called to honor your heart and spirit here. And one thing about the king is that he's a king, right? Like, he wants the respect, but doesn't necessarily give the respect. So you are being called to listen, really listen to the people around you instead of dominating them. Be present and try to understand other people's point of view. Or even just take a step back to be silent and just observe what's going on around you so you can see a different point of view. You also really need to value creativity at this time and value your community. You also may be needing your creativity to be challenged right now. So that could be something to represent the full moon. I'm just really hearing a lot of creativity here. So if you're an artistic person, maybe it's something you stepped away from, or maybe you've been thinking about trying a different medium or a different avenue and you haven't yet. I think that this is the time for you to explore that and just follow your heart and see where it takes you. Some other things that the full moon may be bringing up to you if you're not relating to the creative aspect is that you may have some wounds that are running deep right now. You may be holding a grudge against somebody. You may not be wanting to forgive someone. So that's kind of going to tie into like what you need to release and like what you need to focus on this full moon. Is that negative energy? Where are these wounds coming from? Why do I feel like I can't heal them? Why am I holding a grudge against this person? How can I move on from it? Doesn't forgive. And that doesn't mean that you have to forgive everybody in your life. A lot of times we don't forgive ourselves, and I talked about that a lot in the previous reading. So next up, what is something you need to release this full moon? We have the reverse Six of Pentacles. This is where we're starting to get into that imbalance, and this is where creativity is going to tie into the rest of the reading because you have a lot of self-care to do during this full moon period. So self-care can also be exploring your creative side as well. But let's go ahead and get into this reverse Six of Pentacles. Something you need to release. You've been giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, but now you have nothing left. You are pouring from an empty cup. So what you need to release is over-committing yourself to other people. You need to start focusing on yourself right now. And when it comes to giving, you also really need to be careful as well, because some of you are giving for the wrong reasons. Like, you're not just doing it for the goodness of your heart. You're doing it because you have expectations and you're expecting things in return from this. And that's not how it works. When you're giving to others, you should be giving selflessly, and you shouldn't be expecting people to repay you, especially if you are not communicating that in the first place. It's really, really important that you are doing these things selfishly, because you're going to burn yourself out even quicker. You're going to be unhappy. You're going to start holding grudges against people, like we mentioned for the King of Cups here. So it's kind of like, but you put yourself in this position, and now you need to figure out how to let it go. Now, there is a very fine line, and there is a difference between like being there for other people and feeling like people aren't there for you when you need them, because that still needs to be acknowledged and recognized that yes, there is sort of an expectation that when you're there for other people, when you're in need, that they can be there for you. But you want to make sure that you're doing this in a fair exchange. Like, you're not just going to be giving your time, energy, tangible objects, material things, money to other people and expecting it to come back to you. You need to really be giving from a good place in your heart, and if you're not doing that, you need to release that and you need to let it go. If you are giving to others in a selfless place, you're just burning yourself out and overcommitting, so you need to let go of always trying to be the hero and always trying to be there for other people, because right now you need to be here for yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take a step back during this full moon, reflect on what isn't working and why, and what you can do to improve it. Maybe you need to start implementing boundaries, learning to say no to people in a respectful way, in a healthy way, of course. But yeah, you need to release this because you're giving too much and just completely draining yourself, and you may also be giving too much and expecting things in return when that wasn't part of the deal in the first place. So the third card, how the full moon will impact you. Here we have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is the nostalgia card. It is the inner child card. It is a healing card. It is you giving to your child self, filling your cup up with flowers, with love, with positivity. You need to be emotionally fulfilled, and that also ties into the King of Cups. So this is all about self-care. It continues into the reverse Six of Pentacles. You're feeling empty, so the solution to that is to fill yourself up with this. And this is how the full moon is going to impact you. It's really going to like kind of like shake you or like slap you in the face that like, hey, you need to start taking care of you and paying attention to you and focusing on you. And we need to start implementing some self-care. And if you're doing self-care, you're not doing it enough, or you're not doing it as often as you should be, because you're feeling really drained, especially if you're a creative person. You may be feeling uninspired or drained right now, and filling your cup back up and taking care of yourself and maybe implementing some of that creativity into the self-care is going to help you get back to your King of Cups status. And one thing that I do want to mention, there is a little bit of a warning with the Six of Cups, because the past may be coming back to you as well. That could be another way the full moon is impacting you, because I have been hearing messages and seeing messages of people from the past trying to reach out to you. And it's fine to reflect on these things. It's fine to reflect on the memory. It's fine to even just be like, hey, how's it going? But you need to pause and not get caught back in it. You don't need to get caught back up into what is left in the past. It's fine to reflect on it and even miss it a little bit and like reflect on like the positive aspects of it, but you need to keep it going. You need to keep it moving. You need to move forward from it. Because going back to your past is not going to allow you to grow. So if you have somebody from a past, an ex-partner, an ex-friend, a family member that you may not be talking to, if they try coming back into your life, be really, really, really careful with it, because it's so easy to remember the good times, especially when somebody is coming back into your life in a new way. But you need to be careful because you left them behind for a reason, and you need to continue to grow. So right now isn't a good time, I would say, to really rekindle anything. And this also might be an indicator that you're feeling like you're outgrowing certain people in your life and you want to leave them behind, or that you're needing to leave them behind, but this card is reminding you to leave them behind with kindness. But yeah, you may also be realizing that you need to outgrow some people or maybe an area in your life as well. But the Six of Cups really is going to help bring you emotional joy and stability into your life, especially once you start focusing on your inner child and the self-care around your inner child. It will definitely help you move past if you feel like you're stuck in the past. Working on your inner child and healing it is going to be able to help you grow and move forward from that. So that's where you may be getting hit a little bit in the feels with this full moon. So up next is where to find deeper meaning. And we have the reverse Page of Pentacles. Where to focus and find deeper meaning. This is the Page of Pentacles. So you may be thinking of starting something new. This might be a project. It might be a job, it might be something like a new area to study, even a new relationship. You're like, you know, teetering with the idea of something new and wanting to expand on it. But you're also feeling really uncertain about this right now, or if you have made the decision to start on this, you may be feeling uncertain and you may be feeling like there's a lack of progress being made. Like you were once really excited about this, but it feels like the momentum has been lost and you're just kind of feeling a little bit stuck right now. What I'm going to say is that if an opportunity keeps presenting itself to you, like if you're feeling unsure about taking this start, about taking this journey, but if you keep seeing signs about it, I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table a lot. If you keep seeing signs, or if the opportunity keeps presenting itself to you, I would say trust that you know that you're ready right now. And you may also be hesitant because like you feel like you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, and that's kind of why you're pausing or why you may be a little bit stagnant or hesitant right now. But if you keep getting signs to start, or if the opportunity keeps presenting itself to you, trust that you have all the tools that you need, but you're gonna figure it out as you go. Like no one wakes up one day and is an amazing artist. Like they all have to start somewhere. Everyone starts from somewhere. So just trust that you're ready right now and you're going to figure it out as you go. So that's also similar advice if this is struggling to take off for you. Just like keep kind of pushing forward, and if you still feel hesitant or you still feel a little bit of resistance and you need to take a step back, so if you have already started this project and you're feeling stuck, you're feeling a little bit of a lack of progress, I would say don't try to keep forcing it right now if you feel really, really stuck, like why isn't this working, and you're starting to feel tired and exhausted and overworked and you're not as passionate about it. What you need to do is take a step back and refocus. And once you take a step back, you may be able to see things from the bigger picture, and it's going to help you to focus so you can replan and regain your inspiration and passion that you had in the first place. So a tip for this, no matter what position you're in, is to imagine what it's going to feel like and be like to accomplish this. And then you're going to recommit, or you're going to be ready to go. And you can also learn from your past mistakes and use that as a tool in your arsenal, in your toolkit, so you're ready to go. You kind of can foresee little issues that may arise, and now you have a better strategy on how to manage it and how to handle it and how to better move forward. So that's kind of where you can get a deeper meaning on what to focus on during this full moon. I feel like that was a lot, so I apologize. And lastly, where can you find the beauty in this full moon? And we have the Lovers. I mean, this is like self-explanatory. The Lovers card for beauty goes hand in hand. There's beauty in love. It symbolizes a spiritual union that's going to create harmony. And if this is coming down to a choice, like if you're having to make a decision and you're looking for the beauty in the decision that you need to make, follow what your heart craves, because this is a yes. This is a very positive card. It's literally telling you to follow your heart, follow your dreams, follow your desire. Creative compromise is going to help you accept your commitments fully. This is a beautiful self-honoring connection here, and there's also beauty in communication. So, I mean, the Lovers is a Gemini card after all. So there's beauty in communication, raw honesty, being vulnerable, being very clear on what your values and beliefs are. It will allow you to connect with the King of Cups here. And it will being clear on your values and beliefs will allow you to connect with the King of Cups energy, and it's also going to allow you to put the past away. So this nostalgia card here, you're going to be able to move on from whatever is holding you back once you take a step back to see the beauty in things. And another thing with the Lovers card is to consider all the possible consequences when you're in the Page of Pentacles mode, trying to decide how to move forward. But this card is really about beautiful compromise and just focusing on your values and beliefs and allowing that to guide you. So I know it was kind of like a vague question. Where can you find the beauty in this full moon? And I pulled the Lover's card, so I just wanted to give like a little hint of where you can find beauty in all aspects of your life right now, especially if you're struggling. So now let's move on to the oracle cards. I'm going to pull from Where Alice Went, a Wonderland Oracle deck by my friend Sarah Stassi. I'll have the name of the decks and everything linked below, but she put together this beautiful deck and 2 came out. So we have the card Play. Don't take things too seriously at this time. Engage in activities that honor your inner or actual child or children. Allow yourself to do activities simply for pleasure, fun, and whimsy. That connects to our 6 of Cups. And then we also have the card Right from her deck as well. And Right is basically calling on you to do your self-care. So that's like very much confirmed in this reading. It's time to journal it out. You will feel better if you take time to write out your feelings and ideas. When everything is on the page, you may gain some much needed clarity. And again, this ties into the creativity and artistry of the King of Cups. It doesn't have to be writing, journaling. It could be any sort of artistic reflection that's going to help you get the emotions and thoughts out. And I'm also drawing from Visions in the Liminal Space by Vakara Whitner and Kaylee Christensen. And we drew No Kings But Us. And I'm going to read the passage from the guidebook. You are the cumulative, mighty efforts of your ancestors. You are their wish granted and dream realized. You're miraculous. You are ancient and you are holy. You are the sum of fate, time, love, and luck, all conspiring together. You are an instrument, fine-tuned to bring forth the sometimes euphorious, sometimes catastrophe, and always harmonious rhythms and tickings of the universe. You are here to play, and you are here to dance. On the matter of kings, there is fact and fiction among the lore. They are divinely assigned, it's true, but they are not as rare as you've been made to believe. Rather, they are an archetypical energy awakened within as soon as you begin to ask, why not me? You are it. If you don't like it, change it. If it's not there, create it. How much of a tank is that to tie in to the energy of our reading? And last but not least, I'm going to pull from the Moonology Oracle card, and we got the new moon in Cancer. You are loved. You and your loved ones are safe. So let's see what messages we have for the new moon in Cancer that we pulled. There's a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or a moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so will bring you more of your heart's desire. Attuned to the moon, make sure you put family first. Additional meanings for this card. Let somebody get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for you. It's time to review your goals and have they changed. Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near the water will bring you peace and answers, and that ties in lovingly to the 2 cards that we have representing water elements. The new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her 2 home signs along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next in your life will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. This is going to wrap it up for the collective reading for group 3. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you related to. I would love to connect with you guys more. If you like my content, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. If you like the time and energy that I put into this video, I do have a tip jar linked down below where you can buy me a coffee. Or if you would like a personalized one-on-one reading, you can book a reading with me at MoonMagickSpirit.com. Again, a link down in the description bar. And as always, thank you so much for your time and energy in this video. Blessed full moon to you all, and I will talk to you soon in the next video. Bye everyone.